afternoon. Welcome to Permort Field at Bernlohr Stadium, where we have OAC soccer action kicking off in conference play. Today, Capital plays host to Baldwin Wallace, and it's basically the start of a new season with both teams playing their first OAC game today. I'm Jimmy Bloomfield. Thanks for tuning in. As always, Capital coming in off of a win in their last time out. It's been a tough go at it lately, but Coach Ogden likes to pack that non-conference schedule with high-quality opponents, and that's what he's done again this year. Capital with a win over Wittenberg their last time out on a goal from Avery Hart, who has scored the lone goals for Capital this season, who come in at 1-6-1 overall. Baldwin Wallace, meanwhile, comes into this one with a 5-5 mark, just 1-4 on the road this season of note. But they've also come in off a win over an NCAC opponent their last time out, defeating Worcester by a count of 3-2. They are a little bit more, in terms of scoring on the stat sheet, a little bit more offensive than we are used to seeing out of Baldwin Wallace, averaging 1.5 goals per game this season, 6 of them coming from sophomore Sydney Rice, number 7. She is someone to keep an eye on today on the other side of things. But they've also been very good on the defensive side, allowing just 15 goals in those 10 games, and they've scored 15 and allowed 15. So kind of up and down there as well. But Baldwin Wallace playing a little bit higher scoring games than we're used to. Remember a few years back, Baldwin Wallace and Capital would play some really low scoring games back and forth, and just trying to find that first goal sometimes was all it took. But today we might see a little bit more scoring. Capital, again, has only 2 goals this season, but I wouldn't read too much into it. Playing a really strong non-conference schedule: Hope College, Hanover, Ohio Wesleyan, Carnegie Mellon, and Case, who we saw in the opener here at Permort Field at Bernlohr Stadium. So I think today, kind of the start of a new season, a chance to put the non-conference behind you, and you can still make the NCAAs by winning this conference, which Capital is among the favorites to do. They were ranked 3rd in the coaches' poll and had a strong 2021 spring season, if you want to call it that, as we move into the actual 2021 fall season here. Both teams are making their way to midfield for the starting announcements and our starting lineups, so we'll pass it over to the public address for that and rejoin you for first kick in just a few minutes here from Bernlohr Stadium.
Now let's meet the starting lineup for the visiting Yellow Jackets. Number 5, Amanda Donahue. Number 6, Ella Bark. Number 7, Sydney Rice. Number 19, Brandy Philippi. Number 21, Anna Wenzinger. Number 24, Allie Watland. Number 29, Haley Slade. Number 31, Andrea Scatino. Number 32, Bella Regal. Number 37, Natalie Stewart. And in goal, number 39, Katie Scott. The Yellow Jackets are led by Jim Woodman, and he is assisted by Alexi Manoa, Vince Milner, and Kenneth Jones. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Capital University Comets. In goal, a junior from Dublin, number 1, Lauren White. At defense, a senior from Westerville, number 3, Cassidy Ryan. At defense, a freshman from Columbus, number 4, Abby English. At forward, a senior from Dublin, number 10, Olivia Rotolo. At forward, a sophomore from Canal Winchester, number 11, Lexi Snyder. At forward, a junior from Pickerington, number 15, Avery Hart. At midfield, a senior from Westerville, number 19, Brooke Shetler. At defense, a junior from Wadsworth, number 22, Mia Gambasini. At forward, a senior from Milford, number 23, Holly Barlage. At midfield, a sophomore from Westerville, number 25, Sophia Leonetti. At forward, a freshman from West Liberty, number 29, Grace Estes. The Comets are led by Matt Ogden in his 7th season. He is assisted by Jenna Klopfenstein, Giovanni Salinas, and Morgan Deacon. And now, fans, it is time to honor America. We invite you to rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
And welcome back up in here to the booth at Primort Field at Bernlohr Stadium. Your starting lineups again for the Yellow Jackets. It's Amanda Donahue, Ella Barth, Sydney Rice, Brandy Filippi, Anna Wenzinger, Alicia Watling, Haley Schwade, Andrea Scatino, Bella Regal, Natalie Stewart, and in net is the freshman out of Lewis Center, Katie Scott. For the Crusaders, it's Cassidy Ryan, Abby English, Olivia Rotolo, Lexi Snyder, Avery Hart, Brooke Schuttler, Mia Gambasini, Holly Barlage, Sophia Leonetti, Grace Estes, and in net is the junior out of Dublin, Lauren White. A lot of young players out there for the Capital side, and you may have heard the Comets being used a few times. It is the new nickname here for Capital, so we'll see if the change in mascot will lead to a change in the ways for Capital here. But again, they had a really rough non-conference schedule, and hopefully they've got some growing pains from that schedule. And again, a very young team, freshman English starting, as well as Estes in there now, and some other changes as well. Holly Barlage starting. And you've got a lot of power off the bench now with Berletic, Stanisovska, Madeline Woodruff, all those potentially available off the bench unless there's some injury situations there have caused some of the changes, but I wonder how much of that is just trying to find that right combination. Capital in their home white uniforms, the Yellow Jackets, obviously in the yellow. They'll be moving from left to right, and the Yellow Jackets will be moving from right to left to start things off. First kick is Baldwin Wallace. And we're still waiting for that opening whistle here. Players look ready. And we're good to go. And they'll send it deep into the corner to start things off today. That's going to roll through for a goal kick. So I don't think that's what Baldwin Wallace was envisioning there. Again, the Yellow Jackets coming in at 5-5. The Comets coming in at 1-6-1. Goal scorers this season to watch out for the Capital side so far. It is Avery Hart. She has both goals for Capital and an assist as well from Grace Estes, who makes her 4th start of the season in 8 games. Lexi Snyder starting out up front today for Kappa. Shot from the left wing is knocked down by Katie Scott. Lexi Snyder is on the front right of the attack. Avery Hart in the middle. And to the top left there, I believe that is Estes. Snyder may look a little different. Looks like she's dyed her hair since last time I was here, at least. Used to have blonde, now brunette. So that is the same Lexi Snyder that we've seen all over the field, play defense, offense, and whatever coach needs. So she's on the front right today. And it looks like Barlage is on the midfield attack. Leonetti will send this through to the middle, trying to link up with Hart, unable to. Barlage is attacking now. And Rotolo will collect with Hart out in front. Rotolo drops it down to the near side. Here's Gambasini now. And with the right foot trying to find Lexi Snyder. Good defense from Andrea Scatino on the other side. And now Snyder will send it to the other side of the field. That's Cassie Ryan's side. Ryan, a transfer out of Georgia State, senior. On the high side now is Estes. Calling for it is Avery Hart, but they weren't able to link up with Hart there. And it's kicked out of bounds by Baldwin Wallace. So good action so far. No score on either side. Capital does have a shot on goal from, actually Leonetti was the one who took that shot the first time, not Estes. Pass inside. Leonetti back out, and a shot that gets blocked. So a corner will result. Gambasini looks like she's going to take it as she comes from the defensive position in here. Abby English is in the middle of the defense here, and she'll stay back. Along with Barlage back there on the defense as the two defenders here today. So Barlage playing defense, not midfield, my mistake from earlier. This one crossed into the box. It's collected by Ryan. Ryan drops it down off sides, trying to find Hart. So nothing resulting from the goal kick. The corner kick turns into basically a goal kick for Baldwin Wallace on the other side. The Yellow Jackets have some players to look out for. We mentioned in the pregame Sydney Rice, not to be confused with the former NFL receiver with the same name. Sydney Rice, 6 goals and an assist this season, 39 shots in 10 games. So she's a volume shooter, and she's only played 7 of the 10 games, by the way. So actually, it's 39 shots in 7 games, so over 5 shots per contest. All multiple goal scorers as well. Brandy Filippi, Michelina Rush, and Allie Watley. Michelina Rush is someone who comes off the bench for them, of a senior out of Pennsylvania, Norwin High School. Caps controlled possession to this point. And most of the action's been on the Baldwin Wallace side. Snyder pokes it free, trying to find Hart, and it's played back to the goalkeeper, Katie Scott. Scott will launch it back to midfield. Leonetti with good defense, but she's called for the foul as she got in the way of Bella Regal. First OAC games for many today. Ohio Northern and Marietta are also getting underway just now At 2 o'clock, Mount Union will face off with Otterbein over in Westerville. Heidelberg against Wilmington, and John Carroll against Mount Union. I'm sorry, John Carroll against Muskingum. Those are night games, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock respectively. And we'll have another round of OAC action on Wednesday. Capital playing host to Heidelberg here at Bernlohr for Game 2. That's a 7 o'clock start on Wednesday. If you're unable to join us, we will have a broadcast for that one as well. Baldwin Wallace possession now. Scatino throwing it in and puts it on the carpet in front of a teammate, Gambasini, and Leonetti defending on the sideline, and now Snyder and Hart are off and running. Hart trying to move inside. Great defense from the Yellow Jackets. That's Amanda Donahue, unable to save it, but she did at least stop Hart from getting deep into the Baldwin Wallace territory there. Hart trying again now in the box, working with Donahue. So they have 3 attack. Estes on the top, and on the wing is Snyder, and then Hart up top, and then Rotolo's kind of that fourth forward, playing more in a diamond with the 4 up front, as Leonetti commits the foul here. Leonetti and Shuttler are in the midfield then. I guess Rotolo technically that hybrid between a midfield and an attack. And then on the back line, you've got Ryan, English, Barledge, and Gambasini, who headers this one backwards. A chance here on the other side for Natalie Stewart, and she shoots it wide. So Natalie Stewart, you might hear the crowd pick up a little bit. She is from Blacklick and went to Gahanna Leakin High School, which is not even 10 minutes from here, I would say. So she has pretty much her own section of the crowd here. So you might hear some cheers for Stewart, which might sound confusing because she is on the opposing team, but they came well-traveled today, and they have at least 20 to 25 people wearing Stewart shirts. So she's playing with a little extra support here at Bernlohr today. She has scored 1 goal this season. She started now 8 of the 11 games for Baldwin Wallace, so it's not like they just threw her out there. They're expecting good things from her. So the freshman will see if she can score in front of family and friends here today. Good defense here on the Baldwin Wallace side. I believe that's Watling, who sends it forward now, trying to find Stewart. Ball's kind of volleying back and forth. Almost 10 minutes in. Still no score. Stewart's shot is blocked. Following up now. Another pass to Stewart. Ball squirts loose. Shuttler has it. Trying to weave through 2 or 3 defenders. And finds space somehow to get it out to Gambasini, who will clear. Trying to find Hart, but really I think just trying to clear it. And now Rotolo with a good header to push the pressure away. And Hart got the last touch on that one. Baldwin Wallace then boxes out Hart so that they can throw it in on the far sideline. One of the Yellow Jackets hurt. That's Donahue. She's okay. Causes a brief delay in the action here. Pass down to the near side now. And there's no room there. Lexi Snyder, the sophomore, with the stop there. She plays all over the field. That's a hand that was missed. Oh, they did call it. Stewart had it bounce up on her there. Bunted away by Scott, as we're still looking for our first quality scoring chance from either side. One shot from Baldwin Wallace. It was Rice, and one shot from Barledge, which I believe was actually Estes for Capital. Just as I mentioned that section for Natalie Stewart on the other side, she has 5 more entering in her support. So, like I said, it's pretty much one section of the bleacher here is sporting number 37s for Baldwin Wallace. So it's going to sound a little weird if Stewart scores. It's going to sound like a home game. Stewart gets the throw in here. Working against English, the freshman, and English pokes it out of bounds. It's going to be a corner. See who will take it. No one's making their way. Finally, we've got someone. I believe that's Alicia Watling, a freshman out of California. 21. That's actually Anna Wenzinger. Wenzinger lining it up. And she sends it in, and White will catch it out of the air. Lauren White this season, she's played every minute in net, 750 minutes and 35 seconds, a 1.20 goals against average, which is 4th in the OAC. Again, I don't know how much to look into these statistics because she's had a much tougher run than a lot of these other goalkeepers have with their non-conference schedule for Capital. 47 saves, a 82% save percentage. And she's 1-5-1 on the year, technically. And she's one of the best in the conference here for sure. And we'll see if she can lead Capital again, as in the spring session, she only allowed a few goals. The team itself allowed 3 goals and lost 2 games. So it's kind of a weird statistic, but with the penalty shootout knocking them out of the OAC tournament, it was technically a 0-0 game, and then they allowed the 1 goal, being the goal from the shootout. Other than that, just 2 goals allowed. So, Baldwin Wallace gets a steal shot off the side of the net. Well, that was very lazily played back to White as we were talking her up, and Baldwin Wallace almost gets a gift. The ball hit the side of the net. So it'll be a goal kick, and Capital loses focus for a few seconds there, and it almost cost them a goal. 32 minutes to play, first half. Still no score here at Burnmore. Rotolo trying to control for Cap. Plays it over to Hart. Hart swings it right into the chest of Donahue, and Baldwin Wallace will recover. Schwade sends it to the high side. Wenzinger with it now, and Wenzinger will get it off of Estes for a throw-in. Capital just playing hard defense to make this trip up the field kind of methodical here for Baldwin Wallace. A quick throw in for Baldwin Wallace, but it was out of bounds going to Capital's direction. So that ball will be kicked out of play. And now a big throw in on the far side from Ryan. Trying to find Hart. Ball is cleared sky high into the air. Controlled with the right foot of Ryan. And weaves her way through. Calls for the drop, give and go. Now a fake out, and Ryan centers. Hops to midfield and plays it back down. Nicely done by Cassie Ryan to maintain possession. Snyder with a stop and go move now. Snyder kicked it out of bounds. Takes a tumble. She's okay, but a nice little fake out there. She looked like she was going to play it back and then turned and went instead. And she did make some contact with the Baldwin Wallace player, which I think kept her from fully making that run. Snyder now tried to step in front of that pass, and she kicks it out of bounds. Throw-in coming for the Yellow Jackets. It's tossed in and off the foot of Leonetti now. who skies it in the air, headed by B-Dub, and a throw-in now for Gambasini. Gambasini throws it into midfield. A stop and go. Hart goes down and draws the call. I think that was a flop, honestly. I didn't really see much there. But Hart gets the call. And now Gambasini will get a set piece from about 30 yards away. Gambasini lines up, offset to the right, and she drills it towards the goal low. It goes wide. I'm not sure if she was looking for a redirected touch there towards the net or if she was just trying to drive one through some traffic. But either way, it steers wide of Scott, who throws it in quickly here to resume play. 16 minutes have gone by. No score. Here's Stewart with it. Kicked away from her by Barlage. It goes out of bounds. No subs from either side yet. I assume we'll start to see those trickle in here over the next 10 minutes or so as we approach the halfway point of the first half. Still 0-0 from Bernlohr, one shot apiece. And we kind of teased that this might be more of a higher scoring game than we're used to seeing between these two sides, but we haven't seen that come to fruition yet. Two shots actually for Baldwin Wallace now. We've seen a corner for each side, 2 fouls on each side, and not a whole lot of other stats to bring along yet. Leonetti went for a run with Hart. Rotolo finds her. Leonetti tried to drop to Hart, and Leonetti will come back into the midfield with Avery shooting up. Baldwin Wallace countering, and Shuttler lost her footing there. Gets some oohs and ahs. Pass to the right. A shot from way out, and that goes wide. Not much threatening there, but that was a great pass and a great move before the shot. And that was Rice just putting it on net. Rice kind of reminding me a lot of Becca Cartmill, a former Comet here for Capital, and very much the similar kind of player, just would put as many on net as you can, and they're so talented that a lot of them are going to go in, even ones you don't expect. So, just keep shooting is pretty much the message for Rice, I'm sure, from the sideline. Rice now centering here, trying to get a feed from the outside, and the ball's kicked away by Ryan, who's had a really strong game early on. And now off on the run here, Rotolo. Nice ball out in front of Hart. Hart, stop and go. The keeper's left the net. Hart with the weave, and then she scores with the left foot. Katie Scott got drawn out of the net, and the left-footed kick from Avery Hart, who took her time, nice and patient in the box, dribbled it around, weaved to her left, and sends it into the back of the net. And Avery Hart remains the only Comet who scored this season. Her third goal puts Capital up 1-0. Beautiful through ball to set that up by Rotolo. And Avery Hart does the rest. And now Cap gets an immediate steal, and now Snyder trying to make it 2. She's got to run. Snyder dribbles in, takes the shot. It goes wide. Almost 2 quick ones from Capital. No assist will be credited to Rotolo. That is the correct rule, technically, because Hart dribbled it around. It's got to be kind of a boom and then a kick. Can't just pass it around, and then it's like hockey where they just hand out assists. So she won't get credited for one, but a great setup there from Rotolo to put that on the foot of Hart, who, again, showed great patience as Scott was right in front of her, and it looked like Scott was going to take it away from her. And a lot of players would probably just rush a shot there knowing they have an empty net. But the patience from Hart, the junior, to just kind of wait it out. She's trusted her dribbling and sets herself up in front of the net with a wide open shot, and the lack of rushing there is something to take note of. And a very smart play by Avery Hart to not rush the shot off and get the best quality chance she could. Puts it into the back of the net. And Capital playing with a 1-goal lead now. And there's some of that scoring we were talking about. I'm telling you, this is going to be a higher scoring game than we expect between these two teams normally. Rice is really good on the other side. And Capital's got a lot of firepower themselves. So I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a couple to win this one. Stewart working hard on the other side and wins possession for Baldwin Wallace. 24:46 to go. It's Capital 1, Baldwin Wallace 0 on the third goal this season from Avery Hart. Capital wins possession off of the throw-in and play it down to the other side of the field, the near sideline down in front of us here. Snyder trying to work with Gambasini to find a lane. And Gambasini's going to have to retreat. They'll swing it up to the other side of the field. And it's going to go all the way back to the keeper, Lauren White. With the big leg upfield, on target to Ryan. And Ryan turns, looks, passes to Hart. Hart leaves it for Estes. Estes puts it out in front of Hart. And on the through ball, Hart wins it again, showing off the speed. Hart now turns inside. Something developing here. Hart takes the shot and a save made by Katie Scott. Well, Cassidy Ryan and Avery Hart have been the standout performers so far. And those two almost link up for Capital's second goal. And here's Rice now on the other side. Takes a high shot. That ball bounced on her as she went to take the kick, and I think she caught the wrong part of the ball there. And once again, a shot from 30 yards away. And she has enough leg with the wrong foot. I think that was her left foot to put that over the net. It is something to be afraid of on the other side. A player that has that much talent and that much power in her leg. Definitely don't feel comfortable with the 1-0 lead, but of course would love to be the team that's on top with the first goal. Shot here from Ellie Watling goes high. And a goal kick now as we reach the halfway point of the first half. White will send it into play. White with the low liner trying to find Ryan. It should bounce nicely for her. It does. Ryan crossing midfield and now drops it to the left sideline trying to find Hart and Estes again. Baldwin Wallace is there first. Scott lines one through. A header from Leonetti. Almost looked like she used her left arm there to control that. Some of the crowd calling for it from the Baldwin Wallace side. I tend to agree. But Capital keeps possession until it's kicked out of bounds and goes the other way. Baldwin Wallace on the far sideline now throws it in and headers it out of bounds. Gabby Vigiano, the senior, will come on next for Capital. Among some of that depth that has made some starts, not only this season, but throughout their career here. They've got a lot of talent off the bench, and it's veteran talent. Vigiano still working her way back this season. This is just her second appearance when she comes into this game and has one of those captain sleeves on her sock. So obviously a key player that they're trying to get into the mix here, and she'll be the first sub off the bench today for Capital. Shuttler has it for the Comets as they move through the right side of the field, near sideline. English picks up her hand, sends it out in front of Hart. Hart's got space. Hart in the box. Dribble. She put too much on that. I think that went out of bounds anyway before she was able to save it. It was. So Hart with a rare mistouch there. Vigiano will come in now, and she replaces Shuttler, senior for senior, on the swap. Barledge, Rotolo, and Vigiano, the captains for this Capital squad on the field. There's also Kaylee Stanishowska, who wears the captain as well. And I'm sure we'll see her later in this one. Baldwin Wallace will match with a sub of their own, Anna Wolfinger, checking in. And she replaces Wenzinger on the far sideline. So a couple extra seconds here on the sub as they've got to run the length of the field here. Ball to Snyder in the box. She kicked it wide off sides, was the call anyway. I was waiting for that whistle. There was a little bit of delay there on my end. I was looking at the sideline, looking for the flag, as Snyder certainly offsides, and the late whistle there proves the same. Capital takes control of the live ball now, and it's English who will play it back to White. 18-18 to play, first half. 1-0 Capital on Avery Hart's third goal of the season. Oh, that's a big takedown. Rotolo takes a tumble there, and they're going to quickly play it here off of the free kick. Gambasini fakes a deep ball, now sends one towards Hart. Snyder on the header. Puts it on the right foot and tried to trap to control that, but instead put it too far out in front of herself, and it goes to the goalkeeper. Vigiano now knocks this one down. Precious legs on the field for Capital as she's just checked into this one. Everyone else in the starting 11. Out in front of Stewart, but too far out in front of Stewart, and cleared away by English. Aaliyah Berletic is warming up next for Capital, kind of prancing down the sideline here. There's a couple others down there with her on the near sideline. So Capital looks like they'll be making some mass subs here in the next few minutes. Vigiano will clear it out of bounds. Baldwin Wallace has about 3 or so players as well warming up on their sideline for some substitutions. B-Dub trying to keep the pressure up and unable to. Now Snyder will survey the field as that ball rolls slowly to her. Now Snyder turns on the Jets. She goes right down the middle of the field. Snyder dribbles between two defenders, takes the shot, and did not get a lot behind that. I thought Snyder was going to dish that off, and I think Baldwin Wallace did too. And Snyder dribbles it straight into the box, takes the shot as she was kind of slipping there, lost her footing, and didn't get a lot on the shot. And Scott's able to make the save as a result. A lot of the players on the field here from the Central Ohio area, so they've probably seen each other before. I wonder if the goalkeeper, Katie Scott, out of Olentangy High School, has seen Lexi Snyder and others from this Capital team, as they're very heavy in the Central Ohio area. Speaking of, Aaliyah Berletic will come in. She's a junior out of Hilliard. So she replaces Estes on the outside attack. Berletic has played all 9 games for Capital. She's started 7 of them. So kind of making some changes. As Estes has made her 4th start today. Trying to find someone who has the lower amount of starts here. And Stanisowska has a start as well. So I would assume she's made the start for the one game that Berletic did not start. Snyder has only played 6 games this season, so maybe that's where the difference comes into play with Estes starting. And Capital looks like they have a pretty short bench here as well, as potentially, you never know, as a cross gets knocked out by Scott, you never know what's, COVID protocols and all that, or if someone's actually hurt or what the situation is there. But a couple of key players for Capital have not played that full amount of 8 games. Ooh, that ball was a dangerous pass, and White just has to kick it out of bounds. Now, for instance, Madeline Woodruff has started and played in all 8 games for the Comets, but we haven't seen her in this one, and leads me to believe that there's some kind of probably COVID thing going on there. Haley Moore, a starting defender for this team. Barledge looks like she's in there in her spot, as well as Abby English. So interesting to see, who's technically available. Capital only has 6 players standing on the sideline. 2 are warming up. We'll touch on that in a second. That ball looked like a pass from Hart, and it almost went through into the back of the net, but it hit a Baldwin Wallace heel, and it was enough to redirect it away from both Snyder and the net. So Gambasini will get a corner. I mean, based on the count on the roster, Capital should have 13 players on their bench. And from what I can count, it looks like they have 9. So that tells you some of the story there. Gambasini. Strong kick to midfield. Headed off of the post. It's going to bounce. Did that go in? No. Oh, now are they going to? It looks like they are calling that a goal. It looked like a goal to me as it hit off of the post. It hit Scott, and then the goalkeeper, Scott, clearly went into the net to kind of fish that away. A late signal, but Capital is giving credit for the goal. Good luck figuring out who that was. But it's 2-0 Comets as the goal from Capital will stand. Kaylee Neal checks in, and the goal is credited to Olivia Rotolo. So Rotolo, the senior, gets her first of the season. First player besides Hart to get on the score sheet with the goal. This season, that is, not just today. And after that mad scramble in front of the net, off of the corner kick, Capital able to build this lead to 2-0. And the Crusader defense continuing the aggression. Vigiano ahead to Hart and cleared away. Off of the head now of Regal, trying to play it forward to her team, and that one's going to be out of bounds. Assistant coach there, Jenna Kloppenstein, sticks her leg out to stop that ball and then made a face as if she hurt herself there and laughs her way back towards the bench. That one's out of play. Capital gets, so they don't get the call. Throw in for B-Dub. Scatino to Regal. Crossed in, and Barledge is there to knock it down. Scatino again scoots it forward. Ball squirts towards the sideline, and a goal kick for Capital will result. 3 subs for the Crusaders. It looks like we've got Haley Moore coming in, so she is available today, as well as Nicole Ogden and Francesca Lungano. 2 freshmen and the sophomore Moore. Moore replaces Barledge and will anchor the defense with English. A couple of midfielders coming off for Capital on the other side for the other 2 subs, Lungano and Ogden. This is Lungano with it. Kicked out of bounds. Snyder, I believe, stayed into the game. Yeah, she did. Snyder's dropped back to the defense now. Hart comes off, and checking in is the other captain that we mentioned earlier, Kaylee Stanishevska, the senior out of Gahanna. Snyder throws it in towards Rotolo, and it's going to be played on by Ogden. Up the far sideline it goes. Up the right hash now. Ryan jumping into the play. And English will work with Snyder to get that out. Gambasini was one of the subs who came off, so Snyder drops down into her place. Vigiano to the far left side now. Berletic's up there with Stanishevska. Berletic trying to get a steal here on Wolfinger. She does. Berletic now centers it. A drop. Vigiano with the kick, and the field goal is up and good. But no points for that. 2-0 Cap still. Yeah, I mentioned the record 1-6-1 for Capital. They actually have the same amount of shots as their opponents, 102 each way. So it's not as though they've been playing bad or anything. 42 shots on goal of the 102 as well, which isn't bad. Here's another shot on goal, right on cue from Berletic. Easy save for Scott. Today, however, the shot advantage very much in their favor. Now 7-5, make it 8 with that last shot from Berletic. English will kick it on from just shy of midfield, and a low line drive that worked. Ogden is free, and in the box, kicked away by Baldwin Wallace. So it looked like an innocent enough kick, but it actually turned into a real chance there for Capital. And good box out there from English, as this will go out of bounds. 7.5 minutes to play, first half. Caps up 2-0. And they'll make one last substitution here as Faith Durbin, the freshman midfielder, checking in. She replaces Rotolo. Snyder looking for a place to send this in. And Snyder will throw it in up the sideline and kicked out of bounds by Watling on the other side. Looked like the throw-in, I guess, was taken from too close there by Snyder, so they back her up, and they'll have to do it again.
He's 20th in the nation for basketball. Yeah, he has 111K followers on Instagram. Yeah. Braden. Yeah, Braden. He can already dunk. He's in 8th grade. That's hard. He's 6'5". Yeah. Oh, he's like 2 times max.
White will send it back forward for Capital. Another rush here with 6 minutes to play. Sydney Rice has been quiet on the other side for Baldwin Wallace since the 2 shots early in this one, and both of them came from about 30 yards away. So even if you count on Sydney Rice for one, she has 6 goals in 7 games this season. Capital has that extra goal in their pocket after that weird corner kick situation where a header was put on net. Scott put it off the bottom of the post with a touch in net, and then in the wild scramble afterwards, it ends up in the back of the net.
Luke said he doesn't want to do blitz though anymore.
Stanisovska plays it back conservatively here for Capital. Not a whole lot of movement here from Capital in the final few minutes here, trying to organize something. Snyder dribbles around, plays it back. English, back to Snyder. Snyder turns upfield. Snyder into traffic off the back heel of Ogden, and it'll go the other way now. Ogden gets it right back for Cap. Vigiano now looking for help and swings it high to Ryan. Ryan's had a very strong first half, especially in the earlier part, and she almost set up a goal for Hart as well. I said earlier Capital would make one final substitution when Faith Durbin checked in, but actually one more sub will be coming on for Cap here in the final few minutes. 4:10 to play. English to Ryan. A lot of passing back and forth in this side of the field. And they make their move to midfield now. Across the midfield barrier, Ryan to Ogden, and a little off target. Baldwin Wallace will take over. Vigiano now trying to get a steal. And good work here from Olivia Archibald as well. Make that Durbin, 17, not 7. Durbin now tried to feed it through to Breletic, but was unable to do so. And now the Yellow Jackets the other way, and they'll just kick it clear down to the Capital zone. Substitution coming on for the Crusaders. I believe that's number 18, Maddie Shopes. So Shopes is quick to get to the ball there for Snyder so that she can throw it in. Out called. And it is indeed Maddie Shopes who checks in, the freshman out of Granville, number 18. It'll be played forward here by English. 2:46 to play, first half. And it finds the left foot of a Baldwin Wallace defender. That's Casey Goluboff with it. Goluboff tried to swing it to the other side. Bailey Hall gets the last touch, and now it's sent upfield. Over the head of the defense. Ooh, a slight bobble from White as she was trying to catch it and roll it out in front of the net in one go there. But she's able to recover before anything bad could happen. Hall sends it back the other way for B-Dub. Player goes down. No call. And Vigiano turns the other way. Breletic has space. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Plenty of time for this push, and a good defense there on the centering attempt from Breletic.
Under 2 minutes remaining.
Throw-in coming for Capital. Time to organize for probably their last push here, especially as the clock is still running. The ball has not been thrown back in yet. They go for a deep throw-in. And up the sideline, Baldwin Wallace now will get the toss in. 1:35. Thrown into midfield off the foot of Hall. Durbin with the pass through. Ogden to Breletic. Breletic trying to feed Stanishevska. Pass is knocked down and cleared to midfield. 1:15 to play now. Ryan trying to get some options going again. Swings to English. Shopes will take off down the sideline. Pass goes that direction. Shopes centers. Left foot, swinging it towards Breletic. That's a good ball. And having to come out of the net is Katie Scott. A good touch there by Shope to try to feed Breletic with 54 seconds to play. See if Cap can continue the push here. Breletic with a nice move. Breletic now to Ogden. Oh, Ogden can't get there on the touch actually from the forward on the right side there. That was Longano leaving it for Ogden, but a little bit behind. And now B-Dub trying to get something going. Scatino definitely trying to get it to number 7, Sydney Rice, but they're not able to. Scatino with the throw-in. 20 seconds to play in the first half. Vigiano with the kick to the right side. Aggressive header, no foul either way. 10 seconds left. That's kind of a push there. Longano goes down. Scatino throws it in, but it's actually Capitals throw-in, and it's not going to matter as the final seconds tick away. 2-0 Capital. Goals from Hart and Rotolo have the Comets to clear of B-Dub. Yellow Jackets held scoreless through the first 45 minutes. We'll be back in about 15 with the second half of play. Stay with us. And welcome back to Burnt Lore. It is 2-0 Capital on goals from Rotolo and Hart. And with that, a 7-6 shot advantage. 6 of the 7 shots for the Crusader, or for the Comets, I should say, have been on goal. And only 1 of the 6 shots for Baldwin Wallace has been on net. So even though the shot category is kind of close there, 7-6, it's 6-1 in terms of shots on goal. 4 shots for Sidney Rice the other way. 1 for Watling and 1 for Neal. For Capital, 3 shots for Hart. All have been on goal. She has 1 goal. Rotolo has the other. Snyder with 2 shots as well for Cap. We're underway. Capital moving from right to left, and hopefully we turn our attention to the left for most of this half, as that is Estes with it. For Cap, Barlage is back in there in the middle of that defense with English. On the near side, it is Ryan. Far side defense, it is Gambasini. And we'll reset the rest of the alignment here as we get through it. Estes on the far left here with Hart and Snyder at the top, Rotolo there, and Leonetti and Shuttler in the midfield. So it is the starting 11 for Capital. Sometimes we see some changes in the alignment, but nope. They're going to stick with that 11. Good line drive toss into the box there. Ryan now gets the swing kick in towards Snyder on the second bounce. English plays it forward. Here's Estes looking for space. Plays it back to Hart. Hart trying to find Leonetti. A lot of traffic there. Stewart gets the last touch for B-Dub and sends it upfield. Baldwin Wallace needs one early, I would say, if they want to come back and win this thing. I don't think they're going to be getting 3 on Capital today. So you've got to have the mindset that you get one back early and then find that other one later. Send this into overtime, and kind of anything can happen at that point. Here's a good chance for one on the other side. Shot, and that's going to go over the net. Ella Barth tried to get it to Rice. 2 defenders went to Rice, so she had no choice but to shoot there. Put a pretty good shot up, but it sails high, and the Comets move on to fight another day. Off 2 hops, it goes to midfield over the head of Hart, and B-Dub has it now. We mentioned it is the OAC opener for a couple of different, well, for all 10 teams, but there is a couple of other teams in action right now as well. So let's get an OAC score update here when we have a second. It looks like we might have one soon as Ryan plays it to Estes. Oh, Baldwin Wallace gets it right back, and now Philippi sends it up. Barth down to Rice. Rice shoved off her line, and it's going to be a goal kick. So that'll give us some time to take a look at the OAC scoreboard. First up, we have the other game that started at 1 o'clock as well. That is Ohio Northern and Marietta. And there's another game that just got underway, Mount Union and Otterbein. No score in that one. They're in the 8th minute over in Westerville. And no score as well between the Pioneers and the Polar Bears. 52nd minute of that match. So 6 teams in action, only Capital has scored now. Some of that is just because 2 of them have played only 10 minutes, but there have been 3 teams that have played over a half. The 2 here and the 2 between Marietta and Ohio Northern, and Cap's the only one that's found the back of the net so far. A lot of action in the middle third here, but nothing resulting from it. Cap will get a throw in at the end of that exchange. Ryan to toss it in. 40 minutes left to play in this one. Finds the foot of Estes. Estes swings it inside. It gets hit off of the foot of a Yellow Jacket. And now across, trying to find Hart. Unable to do so. Stewart comes back for it and gets taken down. They're letting him play. No foul called. Stewart still fighting for it. Now Cap gets it back again. Here's Hart. Puts it on the right foot and then passes it to Snyder. Snyder crosses. Nothing there. Baldwin Wallace again with the clear, but it's knocked down with a offsides as Snyder was struggling to get back into the play there. So she's offsides, and that's how that sequence ends. Across to the, actually turned into a shot there from Snyder. Looked like she was going to try to swing that to Estes, but Scott makes the save on the shot attempt. Now Shuttler is here defending. Shuttler gets the last tip off of Baldwin Wallace, but they don't call it that way. Not a big call, but it did look like Shuttler won the possession there. Rotolo now takes it away. She almost goes down, but keeps her footing. Now sends it to Estes. Estes pushing far up the field and gets the last touch off B-Dub for the corner. Gambasini will kick the corner here for Capital. Up to the far post and through the box untouched. Throw in for Baldwin Wallace will result. 37-30 and some change left to play. B-Dub trying to find an equalizer. They're going to need to find one before that one first as they trail by 2. And they have a steep uphill climb here. As Capital's continuing to put the pressure on. Hart with the shot. Save made. It's loose. Tipping's good for the goal. Grace Estes, the freshman, on the tip-in off the shot from Hart. And Capital leads now 3-0. That is the first career collegiate goal for Grace Estes out of West Liberty, Ohio. The freshman who had the assist on the game winner for Hart in the last game for Capital. Comes through here with the third goal for the Comets, and with a 3-0 lead now, Capital safely ahead in this one. Nice moves from Stewart. She takes the chip shot towards the net. And White makes the save. And Cap again, who started the season 0-6-1. They won their last time out. The brutal schedule, like I said, to start the season in that non-conference play. And they've gotten themselves ready for conference play, ready to make a run. And ignore the record, I'm telling you, this is a really talented team. And we've seen that today on full display. Able to find 3 goals already. And making a statement to the OAC that they're still one of the teams to beat here. Don't be fooled by the overall record. And they won their last game out. They should get the win here today, up by 3 goals with 36 minutes to play. And now some momentum starting to really go in their direction here. They'll play another home game here on Wednesday against Heidelberg. the words I said at the start of the game were kind of treat this as the start of a new season here with OAC play opening up. And Capital is able to stay focused. And, oh, man, that is a takedown there and probably a card. No. There was a handful of jersey there that Barledge grabbed of Rice. And that's one way to stop her. Just grab the jersey and throw her down. No card, but definitely a foul. 35 minutes to play. Here's a chance for Baldwin Wallace to try to sneak back into this game. Sent into the box and out by Rotolo. Leonetti miskicked that one off the clear, but is able to at least keep some momentum away from the Capital net. Now a shot gets blocked again. English with the block that time, and this time Capital gets it across midfield. Almost a huge turnover there from Donahue, as Hart had nothing but real estate in front of her towards the net. Scatino trying to find Rice. Glued to her is Ryan. Cap on the counter to the high side of the field. Deep run for Snyder. Look at the speed from Snyder to get there first. That is going to be a goal kick. Nope, she did get it off of B-Dub, so it is a corner. So Snyder does her job, and now it'll be Gambasini to kick the corner once again. Strong kick from Gambasini to the far post. It bounces, there's a whistle, and a foul called against Capital. .33 and change now for B-Dub. They have to score a goal every 10 minutes here to tie the game and still prevent Cap from scoring in that time. It's a tough hill, but they've got one of the best in the conference here, and she's got possession. Here's Sydney Rice. Rice passes off. Stewart too far out in front of her. Stewart does a nice job to win the... Oh, that's a bad call. That should clearly be a corner. It's called off of Stewart. Coach Woykin is not pleased and might have a legitimate gripe from my angle up here. And definitely some frustration from Coach Woykin being taken out on that sequence there. Rotolo to Ryan, now to Shuttler, who went for the rainbow move there, and it somewhat worked. Shuttler's got some pretty good footwork, and she doesn't get to show that off often as a defensive midfielder, but she's actually really good with the ball handling and control of the play, and it looks like even sometimes when she's not in control of it, she knows exactly what she's doing. Hard line drive throw-in from Gambasini. It works. Barledge to Leonetti, who's got space. Plenty of space. Leonetti goes up to the high side of the field behind Snyder, who switched sides with Estes here that run. And out of bounds off B-Dub. And Coach Woykin wants a foul that's not going to be called. And I guess Ryan is the one who kicked it out of bounds. Ryan, again, is glued to Sydney Rice, not letting her get open at all. They did call a foul, by the way. Ball skied into the box, headed straight down by Barledge, and cleared by Cap. Estes still switching sides with Snyder. She has it on the high side. pass goes too far past Hart there from Rotolo. This is Barth with it now. Ella Barth. Very high, very wide on the cross. It still has enough curl on it that it never went over the end line. And Stewart's able to keep the sequence alive and win a corner kick for B-Dub. So Barth, even though she miskicked it, did put enough spin on the cross to keep it in play on the end zone line there. And it's going to result in a corner kick now for Wenzinger and Baldwin Wallace. On the corner, it's punched up by White. And it's going to result in a corner on the other side. That's a really good ball from Wenzinger, who was in-swinging that one as the curl would take it from our left towards the net. And now she'll switch sides so the ball should have natural curl away from the net. And you'll need a touch to score this one for sure. Line drive drilled into the box. It does not lead to a chance for B-Dub yet. They do run down the loose ball. They have plenty of people behind the play, and that's exactly where they'll go with it, back to the defense. Schwede now sends it forward. Philippi sends it to Cassidy Ryan, and unfortunately that's not the same team for her. Snyder able to get some space here for the attack now. Nice moves again from Snyder. Goes out of bounds. All that extra footwork. Snyder and Rotolo on the near side. Now Ryan. Those are probably the three best comments in this game here, right there on the near sideline. Snyder, Rotolo, and Ryan. Those three have been key today. And Estes with that third goal as well in that conversation. A shot from Rice, too high. Well, she makes something out of nothing quite a bit. And that one almost found the upper corner there to the left of the keeper from the keeper's perspective. Top right from shooter's perspective. And I'm guessing Rice is left-footed with the amount of power that comes off of that left foot. Because that was another hard shot there. Her sixth shot of the game, by the way. Vigiano will check back in for the Comets. And with 27 minutes to play, Caps up 3-0. White sends it back down across midfield. Vigiano dropping it toward the near sideline now. I thought she was going to drop it to Leonetti, but actually swept it across to Ryan. Ryan tells Snyder, come here, and then kicked it off the side of her foot. Snyder to Rotolo, and cleared away again. Gambasini by herself up there to run that one down. Mia sends it up the field off of the thigh of Estes, still fighting for it. Scatino takes it away. Here's Stewart now. Stewart working with Barth, and great steal from Barledge. Barledge clears it downfield. Some more subs getting ready to come on. Breletic is one of them. And the other is Maddie Shopes. Hart with a goal and an assist today. Starts the run for Cap. Taking it outside, continuing to go outside with it. Takes the shot, and it's saved. Snyder from behind the play almost gets a steal as the ball was rolled back in. Vigiano with a nice dive to keep the ball alive. Now Rotolo from her feet has to play it back to Vigiano, and Vigiano rolls it out in front of Estes. Too far, though. Estes not going to get there, and a goal kick comes. So Shopes will check in, as will Breletic. We'll see who comes off. Cassidy Ryan gets a breather as Shopes replaces her, and Estes will come out.
How fast can you run from the 40 to the end zone? What do you mean that? What do you mean that? 5.3?
Shopes is going to have all kinds of space once this ball is ran down by her. Shopes now is kicked out of bounds. Casey Goluboff will come in for the Yellow Jackets. Once they get possession here, Shopes will throw it in. Towards the net and behind the net on the cross there from, I believe that was Hart. Yeah, it was Avery Hart with the left foot trying to cross it in front of the net. Baldwin Wallace struggling to get possession on this sequence here off of the goal kick. And now Shopes has it for the Comets again. Trying to feed that to the middle. Breletic came for the pass, but it did not make it to her. She did come back to the ball. Credit to her. 22-22 showing on the clock. 3-0 Capital in front. And seem to be on their way to a 1-0 start in conference play once again. This is 2021 Part 2, as they did play a spring season here in the OAC, which technically was the 2020 year, even though there was no soccer that year. It's all very confusing. Now, last year, Capital and Baldwin Wallace did not face off because the game was canceled due to COVID protocols. They were supposed to open the season on March 14th, but they ended up not playing, and that kind of ended up hurting Capital. Because the standing sheet is gave me a weird error, but they were one short because they went 6-2. If they had that 7th win, I guess it ended up not having much of a difference, as we have a timeout here due to an injury on the high side of the field. Now, Capital went 6-2, though, without that game against Baldwin Wallace on the schedule. Baldwin Wallace ended up going 4-4. And despite John Carroll going 4-4-1, Baldwin Wallace was awarded the number one or the higher seed between the two, which is kind of bizarre, given the fact that John Carroll had more points, but they had one more game and they tied that game. So how do you deal with that tiebreaker situation? I don't know. But however it was, Baldwin Wallace came out ahead, and they ended up playing the 4th-seeded Wilmington team, who was 4-3-2. So they also had more points, but they had more games played than Baldwin Wallace, so they had to travel to Wilmington. So Capital really didn't get in too much trouble on it, but if one team got kind of a weird schedule from it, it would be Baldwin Wallace, who ended up as the 5 seed. Baldwin Wallace then lost 1-0 in the opening round. Capital, as the 3 seed, defeated John Carroll. Capital then had to go face off with number 2 Ohio Northern and lost 0-0, if you will. 9-8 on penalty kicks. That's how deep it went. It wasn't just like your typical 5-round shots there. That's a heartbreaking way to end your season. And, I mean, on the bright side, you know, there was no NCAA tournament to qualify for. That was kind of it. But still, obviously, you're playing for the conference title, and it's something to add to your resume. And just to get any taste of a season after the 2020 lockdowns of pretty much every sport, it was nice to be able to play some games that had some meaning here in the spring. And unfortunately, these two teams didn't get to face off in the spring, so this is their first matchup since 2019. The injured player for Baldwin Wallace is getting help to the sideline now. I believe that's Casey Goluboff, who had just come in as a sub. And she is putting weight on both of her legs, which is good, but obviously some concern here as she walks towards the Baldwin Wallace sideline. The Capital lacrosse team has made their way into attendance here, maybe have practice after the game or something, but they have all their gear, and a group of them have just sat down in the bleachers here. We also saw them play in the weird 2021 spring seasons. So play resumes, 21-20 to play in the final stanza here. Capital playing for the shutout, and again, just trying to keep that message to the rest of the OAC that they are still one of the favorites to win this conference. Stewart tried to go for a shot. It got blocked by English. I don't know if she'll even get credit for the shot being blocked because English took it away before she really even got a shot on it. Ohio Northern is projected, according to the coaches poll, they picked up 6 first-place votes and had 78 total points to rank at the top of the preseason poll. This is done by the coaches in the OAC. There was 2 first-place votes given to Otterbein, who won the conference last year, as that ball's kicked out of bounds for a goal kick. They had 72 points in the poll. And then Capital had 69 points, 2 first-place votes as well, projected 3rd. And then there's a big drop-off down to John Carroll, who had 49 points. 4th, 5th, and 6th, 49, 48, 47 points in the poll. John Carroll, Wilmington, and Baldwin Wallace. So there, if you think about it this way, there's kind of 3 tiers of teams from the coaches poll at least. Tier 1, Ohio Northern, Otterbein, Capital. Tier 2 is John Carroll, Wilmington, and Baldwin Wallace. And those are the 6 projected to be in the OAC tournament. Those were the 6 from last year as well. And that's kind of what happens with this stuff all the time. And then that last group would be Marietta, Mount Union, Heidelberg, Muskingum. Francesca Logano, excuse me, has checked in for Cap, and she's running circles right now trying to get possession. Shopes was helping out, and now Rotolo gets the kick out of bounds. Throw in for B-Dub goes to Rotolo. Trying to find Stewart English again there. And that one goes clear through all the way to the net. Scott has it on the other side. Scott to midfield. Rotolo down now towards Logano. Logano kicked out of bounds by the defender there, Anna Wolfinger. And subs will prevent that kick from, or that throw-in from Shopes from counting. 2 subs, it is Nicole Ogden and Kaylee Stanisovska again, replacing Hart and Rotolo, 2 goal scorers today. 18 minutes to play. And Cap, with this group, just wants to find one more, I think, just for their confidence sake, because the starting 11 has certainly done their job. 3 of the 4 main attackers, if you will, with Rotolo counting as kind of that attacking midfield / second striker role. 3 of the 4 of them have found goals, and you'd love to see someone from this second group find the back of the net as well. Obviously less opportunity for them to do so, but should have 17 and a half minutes to finish this one out, so there should be plenty of chances for them. Here's a chance, crossed in, and a dive by Scott to secure it. Well, you mentioned next up for Capital is Heidelberg on Wednesday night. That'll be another game here. As a whistle here. Free kick for Capital results from the foul, and it's going to be Shopes to take the kick here. That's a good ball into the box. And actually, that's Haley Moore who's checked in for Barlage. So Moore is the one who took the free kick there, number 16. Who's definitely been in the equation as a defender here for Cap. Into the box. And a battle for it. Baldwin Wallace wins it. Cap gets it back. Pass to the middle, nothing there, and cleared away once again. Stewart now has it. Stewart's trying to get it to midfield, and excellent defense by Capital on the high end of the field. Throw in for, well, actually they're going to say it's a free kick for Capital, so they'll congregate down in front of the net. Into the box and headed away. Vigiano will run it down for Cap with the header. And it goes the other way off of Cap. 2 subs coming on. It's Bailey Hall and Kaylee Neal. So for Cap, we were going through their schedule. Next up is Heidelberg, and then they have 2 on the road, John Carroll and Marietta. Home against Mountain Union on the 16th. At Muskingum on the 20th. And then the fun really begins with the last 3 against Ohio Northern, Wilmington, and Otterbein. 2 of those 3 at home. Otterbein, the final game of the season, which could determine the OAC champion. And there's a decent chance on the 23rd, we'll have a match between Ohio Northern and Capital, and both teams unbeaten. Would not be surprised if that's the case. And then Wilmington kind of sandwiched in the middle, that team that's in that second tier we were talking about. And maybe they take the step forward this year as well. Free kick, and the kick from Neal goes into the box off of the head of Hall. The two subs line up with each other there, but nothing results from the linkage. Now a pass to the midfield area, and Cap comes away with it. Leonetti's still out there for Capital. And she puts it down to Shopes, who puts it too far out in front of the attack of Lungano, who is able to win possession still. Lungano now throws it in to Stanishevska. Good ball. A second pass to Brletic. Brletic on the right foot. And a nice defensive play by Baldwin Wallace to block the shot. Stanishevska now keeps it alive. It's a crazy sequence in the box. Header to bow by Baldwin Wallace. Stanishevska pops it towards the net. And Scott makes the save. Two really good chances there for Capital. Unable to find the net. But good progress to build on there. 13:15 to play. It is still 3-0 Capital. Shopes. Nice inside move. Left-footed pass. Kicked away off of B-Dub. Vigiano unable to get the header on it. Moore now stops it momentarily, and now a run the other way. Numbers 3-on-2. Moore trying to flash back into the play. And now White has to come out of the net and gets there before Bailey Hall. Lauren White staying alert back there and takes away an opportunity from the Yellow Jackets. They're going to call a foul against Capital there. I didn't really know what to say about that situation, as it was just kind of standing still there for a minute. We've reached the 78th minute of this one. 3-0 Cap. Lungano into the midfield and out in front of everybody. Oh, they're going to call a foul. It looked like they were playing the advantage on. Apparently, that's the late whistle there. So Vigiano will get the free kick here from about 45 yards away. And now she's moving away from the spot. Who's going to take this? Is it going to be Vigiano or Moore or English? It looks like English. Will take the kick. Moore's in the area as well. And maybe one runs by or something. See that happen from time to time. On net, and just wide of the net from English there. Really good kick, actually. Faith Durbin checks back in for Capital. Ellie Watling checks in on the other side. Barledge was up in the midfield there, and Durbin replaces her. Moore now defending Hall, who's looked good in a few minutes here, off the bench for P-Dub. Wow, that cross goes soaring into the air, and able to run it down off a few hops now is Cap. On the far side, Brletic. And two kicks, and look at how productive they are. They go from end to end. Stanishevska able to keep it in play. Looking for help now. Drops it back towards Brletic, but it's taken away by B-Dub. That was literally two kicks, and it went 100 yards of field, and they were able to link up on both sides. That looked like a push by Hall. It wasn't called. And now English has it. Spins it towards the middle of the field to Durbin. Durbin now. Lungano. Gano had it kicked away from her now, and here's Rice. Rice. Another foul. Actually, no foul. It looked like a foul again, and again, they're really letting them play here.
It should be a free kick over there, sir. Should be a free kick, sir.
So on the throw-in, Baldwin Wallace not able to generate anything yet. Final 8 minutes and change here. And the only thing that's really left to decide now is, will Baldwin Wallace find the scoreboard? Moore brings it up the near hash. Lungano. Oh, she goes down hard. And once again, they're just letting them play. Here's Rice again with it. Rice plays it down to Barth. Barth crosses. No one's there for it. Now late on the play is Bella Regal, and Regal just kind of bounces it wide. Shots in this one have been even now, 10-10, if that one's credited as one. Michelina Russ checking in for Hall. But Capitals had 8 shots on goal, and B-Dubs had just 2. And that's the big difference. Obviously, the 3 on the scoreboard, another big difference. But Capitals had more quality shots, whereas Baldwin Wallace has kind of had more volume shots, 5 of which have been taken by Rice. Scoring 3 goals and keeping Sydney Rice off the scoreboard is pretty perfect performance here from Capital in this game. That's definitely out of bounds. Throw it for B-Dub with under 7 minutes to play. Vigiano with the steal. Now up the near hash to Ogden. She's offsides before she gets the kick away. There's just a handful of freshmen out there. Lungano, Ogden, looking for their first collegiate points, and Berletic and Stanishevska just trying to join in on the fun as well, for sure. Vigiano plays it out wide with help from English, as it goes to Durbin now. Durbin, another freshman. Lungano kind of sent into no man's land, and Scott will run it down. 5:40, getting ahead of myself, left to play. B-Dub trying to find some positive momentum, but they will fall to 0-1 on the campaign. And for Baldwin Wallace, it doesn't get any easier. A brutal start to their season. This is just mean, frankly. They play at Ohio Northern next. And if it doesn't get any better, at least they get to go back home, right? Nope, they play Otterbein. So you're staring down the barrel at 0-3, and then you've got to climb yourself out of that hole. It's just a tough psychological thing. I mean, obviously, they're probably favored to win the rest of their games besides those 3, if not definitely given a chance to at least be in the conversation of winning that game. And you're likely going to be starting 0-3 to try to climb back into the top 6 or top 4 even. That's just a tough ask. But that's what's been thrown in front of Baldwin Wallace. Your schedule is what it is. Gabby Huster checks in for Capital. And the kick there from Ogden on the free kick. from the corner. Nothing results from Cap there. So here's Huster with it. Huster plays it back to Shopes. Shopes with a cross in between 4 Crusaders. Durbin actually gets to it. And Olivia Archibald is also checked in, another freshman, number 7. And Archibald will win the possession for Cap. Under 4 minutes to play. We mentioned there was one other game in action, or 2 other games, one that started at the same time as ours. That's the Marietta, Ohio Northern matchup, as White will be able to collect this ball here. Ohio Northern now leads Marietta, so the Pioneers hung in there for a long time, but in the 84th minute, literally just a minute ago, Ohio Northern scored their goal to take a 1-0 lead. Jill Roberts, the goal scorer for the Polar Bears, so it looks like they might survive a scare from Marietta and come out of there with 3 points. Yeah, maybe Baldwin Wallace will be able to play close as well. And the other game that's in action is Otterbein playing host to Mount Union, a game they're heavily favored in. And that one is tied 0-0 at half as well. So of the 3 favorites in the OAC, Capital probably has the toughest draw of any of them, although it is at home. And they've made the biggest statement, 3-0. Looks like it's going to be the final with 2.5 minutes to play. We might see 1 goal either way in the last few minutes here, but either way, a multiple goal win for Capital. And for these other teams, a 1-0 win against Marietta for Ohio Northern, and Otterbein still hasn't even found the back of the net in the first half of their game with Mount Union. So it'll be interesting to see how that game shakes out. And we'll have an update of the standings, of course, as part of the broadcast on Wednesday, where Capital will look to make it 2-0 in OAC play. They take on the Berg. 1 minute and 40 seconds until this one's officially in the books. Durbin with the header. Now Durbin with the foot this time controls. She goes down but gets it outside. And Cap will dribble it down the field into the corner. Up on the high end of the field. Now centering is Berletic. She goes down. And Durbin gets dirty in there to keep possession for Cap. 1:15 to play. Archibald now up the far end. Archibald dribbles into the corner. Corner kick for Capital. 1:06 to play, so they'll have plenty of time to kind of salt this one away here. Shopes would normally take this free kick, but with the minute left, there's no point in sending her over there. So it'll be Ogden to take the kick here. Ogden with the ball in front of the net, headed away. Shopes is there to clean it up with the header. Kind of spun over her head, though. Huster following up. And now B-Dub has it. Moore steps up to make the play for Cap. Keep possession. Shopes with 30 seconds left. And that's stolen. Nice moves from Rice. And now Barth with 20 seconds. Gets it over to Rice. Rice has 20 seconds to try to make something happen here. 15 now. Dropped away. Huster's got it. Huster had it kicked out of bounds away from her, but Cap gets possession, and with 10 seconds left, this is going to be it.
5.
Shopes will just kind of hang on to it for the last few seconds, doesn't put it back in play, and Capital walks off the field. 3-0 victory with goals from 3 different goal scorers, Estes, Avery Hart, and Olivia Rotolo, excuse me. The 3 goal scorers, Avery Hart, certainly the comet of the game with the goal and assist in this one. 2 points for her. So Capital up next will be Heidelberg on Wednesday, where the the Comets will try to keep their perfect OAC season alive in game number 2 against the Berg. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jimmy Bloomfield once again. Stay up to date with all athletics here for Capital, athletics.capital.edu, and you can follow us as well on all kinds of social media. We will catch you next time on Wednesday for the Berg. 7 o'clock start, 6:55 broadcast, and we'll see you then.